All right, so I'm gonna close my eyes and place my hands on my heart and take that deep breath of love and gratitude. So grateful for this time to come together. Grateful for our willingness and devotion to doing this healing work. Grateful for our desire to live more fully the teachings of our heart, to be the love that we were meant to be, to shine the light on any spaces where there are blocks to love. We're grateful to hold in prayer all that are of need in this moment, especially my friend Chris and her husband, surrounding and supporting them with all of the love and support that they need and desire in both here on the earthly plane and with the heavenly realms. And I bless each and every one of us and all of our loved ones during this call and all those who will listen later. May this call be blessed. May our very lives be blessed. And we're so grateful that we get to share all of the blessings, all of the love and the prayers and the awakening and the insights that we are with everyone because we're one with them. In grace and gratitude, we let it be, and so it is. Amen.
Amen.
So good to see you all. So I brought us back to chapter 30 again because it's really spoke to me last week. I don't know, after coming back from the revival, I think. And I've been reading it every day since last week. And I'm still on the roller coaster a little bit, I have to admit. but I'm deciding that that's okay, and that that I am ready to allow myself to continue to make no decision by myself. So anyways, thank you for indulging me in this this week. Would anyone like to begin sharing about what we read or anything that happened during the week? Or Carla, go ahead.
I like what you shared, that you're willing to allow yourself. So it's the line that was shown to me right when you said that was right from the beginning. Rules for decision: do not fight yourself. And that's what you're doing. And that's what a lot of things that, one of the things that I feel is very important for Jennifer, and this rules for decision is to love yourself, whatever you choose. And I was shown by spirit that I'm like making like some of the best lessons. People out there, it's like, there's just a choice. It's just a choice. You'll get another opportunity to make another choice in another second, because it says right here, decisions are continuous. You do not always know when you're making them, but with a little practice with the ones you do recognize, a set begins to form in which you see the rest. As you see them, you see them. So just allow yourself to make those choices in the learning and to love yourself, because love is the healer, right? And so we're loving ourselves healed. Yeah, that's my share.
Thanks, Carla. Anybody else? No, nothing. I don't believe it. Well, I can say that I know that I am healed. I know that I am healed. And I know that I don't know, there's occasionally there's a blinder on, and I'm okay with that. Because that's just, it's part of my journey, and I'm okay with that too. Um, yeah, and I love that whole first paragraph. Um, and I continuously remind myself, I am making no decisions by myself. I'm making no decisions by myself. It's a new beginning. I'm willing to see it as a new beginning and experience it as a new beginning, and know that it is a new beginning for me. That is the same as every other beginning that happens in every single moment. So, yeah. Leslie.
Well, this isn't exactly pertaining to the lesson per se, but I just have a nice example of how love is always the answer. Last week at work, I was just having a frustrating day, and I have two people that can help me with my job, but I really need to get better at asking for help, because I like to be able to do it my way, and I feel like I can do it all myself. And anyway, it was really busy. I only took about 10 minutes for lunch. I got back from lunch. I immediately was told about this call I had, and I just snapped at the girl, and I'm like, what? None of the other two girls can take it? Just like that. I was a bitch. And then, of course, I felt really bad about it. And at the end of the day, I sent a cute meme of a little cat that said, I suck, and I'm really sorry, please forgive me, type thing. And it was so cool, because I don't remember I sent that email at night or when I sent it, but the next morning I came into my office, and one of the girls had bought me flowers and my favorite candy and a beautiful card that just said, Leslie, I know you're going through a lot right now, and just know that I am here for you. If you need anything, just please ask, and I love you. And it was just like, I mean, it just melted my heart. And it's just like, it just sealed our friendship, you know, that she was able to be so gracious when I snapped at her. And I'm usually the gracious one, you know, I'm not used to being the one that is snappy. I'm used to being the compassionate one, and I'm the one that buys the flowers. I'm not the one that usually receives the flowers, you know. And it was just a really neat experience. It made me feel really, really good. And it was definitely a God moment, as Robin and I like to call it. And it was just such a total surprise. And in the other two girls, everywhere was like, oh, Leslie, don't worry about it. We love you. It's no big deal. You know, it was just, and that's the kind of office we have here. You know, there's 12 of us, and we all get along great. And occasionally one of us has a bad day, and it's okay. We work as a team, and it just works out really well. So I'm willing to ask for help when I need it. And it's a lot easier for me to ask Holy Spirit for help than to ask the other human beings for help. So, but, you know, I was really resistant at first, Lyndon. I think, you know, I even messaged you. Do you know that we already read this chapter? Because, and yet, after I saw the text that you said you've been reading it every day, I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I should read it every day. And I did manage to read it 3 times, which I thought that was pretty good. I could certainly stand to read it every day, because it just, as it says in here, it's not a habit yet. And I want it to be a habit. It's still, and I like this, if you find your resistance strong and dedication weak, you are not ready. Do not fight yourself. So it's giving us a break right there. And yet, if I really want to have a happy, peaceful day, it's like, here's the blueprint how to do it. And I even took notes on it shorthand. So I've got the answers. I just have to remember to use the tools. So thank you, Linda, for recommending this again.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your demonstration of love by allowing other people to love you. Yeah. It's so much easier to give than receive sometimes. And we're willing to change that. We're willing to make that decision for ourselves. Yeah.
It's just so true, though. I think it's way easier to give than to receive. And what's really interesting is, with my husband's recent health crisis, I never realized how much he doesn't like to ask for help. And he does not like to ask for help. He's used to being a big, strong man, and he can do everything. And he's very handy around the house. And, now he can't lift over 10 pounds. It's been a little bit challenging for him. I mean, I had to go to the gas station with him on Sunday to help him lift the gas cans for the tractor
Yeah.
and then our neighbor had to fill them. And he doesn't like that. And like my mom's done grocery shopping for us a couple times, and he really doesn't like that. So we always think that it's only us, and that's just not true. I don't think. I think a lot of people find it easier to give than to receive. And yet when somebody receives a gift that I give to them so graciously, and even if it's a compliment, if they just say thank you, it's so true. You give and receive is the same thing. So that's so cool.
Yeah. Go ahead, Carla.
Yeah, I just was showing a line. It really is aligned with that giving and receiving stuff. So I'll read it. In the second paragraph, this means that you are choosing not to be the judge of what to do. And this is the most important thing. But it must also mean that you will not judge the situations where you will be called upon to make a response. So that feels like this is what I know I do it. Sometimes I don't want to ask for help or something, but I'm judging right there. And so I'm seeing it more and more clearly. If you judge them, you have set some plan reading this, but if you judge them, you've set the rules for how you should react to them. Wow. Isn't that the answer right there? Jennifer has it right, spot on. A lot of her teachings, the John judgment is really, I don't know if it's the core foundation or whatever of her ministry. I know love is really, seems like actually love and non-judgment are probably synonymous too, and it's so she has it spot on. She talks about judging and non-judging and all that, what is true, true forgiveness is not judging, and all this judging. Yeah.
Yep. Non-judgment and love, same thing. Same thing. Thank you, Carla. Anybody else have anything to add to that, or anything else they'd like to share?
Well, I'm just trying to understand that in a practical way. But it must also mean you will not judge the situations where you will be called upon to make response. For if you judge them, you have set the rules of how you should react to them. So I'm trying to think of an example of that in real life.
Well, in my real life, so
your real fake life.
Yeah, my real illusory life. When I was called to let go of taking care of my mother, I'm still releasing the judgments about that. And I know that they're there. I know they've been there. I've been doing that since I can remember, taking care of other people. So, but I also know, like deep in the core of me, I know that this is the right thing to do, but that doesn't mean that those judgments aren't going to come up. The shame, the guilt, the blame, the whatever those judgments are. And I know that that is true because I have spontaneous, visceral reactions. Like at dance class last night, we were doing some partner work where one partner was feeling like they were weighted in their shoulders, and then the other partner was trying to help the person that was weighted. And then, of course, you become the person that has the weight, and the other person does not have the weight. And it, you know, like that flow back and forth. And when the person that I was dancing with took the weight from me and allowed me to just lie on the floor and rest for a couple of seconds, I just burst into tears. It's like just that simple acknowledgement of, you've been carrying this weight for a long time. It's time for you to rest. It's time for you to rest. And that's okay. But I know that there's still judgments there because, you know, why would it make me burst into tears that somebody is recognizing that besides myself? Because I still have judgments against myself about taking the rest. So, and I'm working with it. I'm seriously, this is a new beginning for me. This really is a new beginning for me. So to me, that's judging the response and making up rules for how it should look and how it should feel. So, yep, and I'm working with it, and I'm grateful that I'm working with it, and I'm grateful that we get to talk about it here. And I know many of you that have that same weight that you're working with, you know, so I know this is helpful to all of us because we're one. Whether you
That was
like
a great example. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that or any examples of that? Penelope, and then Robin. Oops. There you are, Penelope. Go ahead.
Hi everyone. I'm just staying off camera. I'm not very well, so it's not pretty. I wasn't going to share, but and I'm just a little bit late joining the class. I was just listening to the year 1 class, and the stuff that I'm just challenged with right now. It's something that's happened many times over the last, I don't know, 8 years or so. And I get these symptoms that manifest like, I don't know if it's like hay fever type symptoms, cold symptoms, or just, I'm just purging, I don't know. And when I was just listening to the year 1 class, quite near the end of the class, Jennifer was getting the participants to place their hands on their heart and to tune into any challenges they might be having or have had within the body. And so I was just doing it as Jennifer was talking, and it was a great reminder for me to do this. And I wasn't really getting anything when I was tuning in and asking, what are these symptoms showing me, or what are these challenges showing me? And I don't know whether this is necessarily what was true when it was coming through when I was asking Holy Spirit. I got something around, I was blocking the light. And when I just joined the call, I just missed that first part of the call just now. But what was interesting when people were talking about asking for help was just very fleetingly in my mind, what went through is, no, I can't ask for help. It's a weakness. It's being weak to ask for help. And what I got from that was, even partnering up with Spirit is showing a weakness. Even that kind of asking for assistance. And these symptoms started quite mildly about, I don't know, maybe a week ago. It was just off the back of doing another liver cleanse. And I was managing the symptoms and still functioning on a daily basis until today, when it's just, I can barely function. So I've been lying in bed for most of the afternoon, sleeping and then just listening to a class when I can. And I've been trying to keep going because a little while ago, a few weeks back, I shared about some friends that I really was my intention was to have them over for dinner, and I was putting it off because of the amount of work. And these friends are coming for lunch on Sunday, and I've got in my mind all that I'm going to prepare. And I really wanted to kind of like get on and do some of the prep work.
Mhm.
And it almost feels like, for me, it's like a weakness to just say no. You just need to stop and rest. So thanks for what everybody's shared so far, because this is really helping me. You know, it doesn't sound it like as if it is right now, and it is. And I'm really grateful to hear everybody's voice. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Penelope. Oh, honey, sending you lots of love and healing light.
Thanks, Linda.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Thank you for sharing, Penelope. I just want to give you a big hug right now and bring you a cup of tea.
Mhm.
I'm just wonder, I always know the first time one needs to ask for help is always the hardest time, and then it gets easier. Just like I remember talking, poor Robin probably got so sick of me talking to her about saying no. It's like the first time you say no is gonna be really hard, but I promise you it gets easier after that, because saying no to somebody else is saying yes to yourself. You know, it's so true. And Penelope, if your friends love you even an ounce as much as we love you, they would be more than happy to do a potluck or bring food or prep or whatever. They just want to see you. They don't care what kind of food they eat if they truly love you. And I apologize if that sounds advicey. It hurts me to feel your pain. That's how I know we're all one. Love you. Bye.
Thanks, Leslie. I love you too. I love you all so much. Just to also add as well, and I think this is also what's making me just be, not wanting to give in, is when I spoke to my friend Rosemary just a few weeks ago, I hadn't heard from her for quite some time, and she had a heart attack at the beginning of June. And I think this is probably another thing why I'm just not wanting to give up. It's I just wanted to keep going, and it's just right now not very helpful. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd understand even if you need to postpone, or say, let's just order pizza or whatever, whatever. I'm sure they will be fully supportive of you no matter what. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, honey. Mitzi, go ahead.
Hi, and thank you for sharing, Penelope and Leslie and Carla. I appreciate it. One of the things, I have two things that I'd like to share and kind of get feedback on, or not. One is the idea that was set forth in the beginning of this section, is that we start the day. Our intention to start the day is asking for help. That every day it's like partnering up with Jesus or the Holy Spirit. Every day is the practice of asking for help, because that's how we're not making decisions by ourselves, is asking for that help. So so that's something that came to me, is setting that intention every day, which was when I sat down to do my intentions today, I had a little question in my mind. How do I go about this with this idea of partnering? I'll make no decisions by myself. So setting this intention, I'm like, oh, how do I write this out? I'm not sure. But I know in my mind that I want everything I write to be in partnership with, so in that way, I'm not already doing what it says in the third part, making up my mind and then deciding what to ask what I should do. So that part was a little confusing to me. So I don't quite have it yet. Can I give an example? Would you mind if I just went on just a minute longer? But so I'm having this great day, and I'm looking for gift items to send to some friends. And I feel like there's an item I want to get for the husband, but I can't think of what it might be. Something that's just not personal. And so I'm in the store, and then I have this idea, and I think, yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to check for those things at this store. And I come out and I start to drive, and I think, that wasn't in my original plan of the day. And I think I'll ask the Holy Spirit about this. This be a good, this is a good idea. And so I pull over and I ask, and I wait. And nothing really comes. There's just like nothing comes. And I'm like, well, I'm not really feeling like it's a bad thing. I'm not feeling bad here, but it's just kind of like neutral. And I think, well, I'll just drive over there. And I get there, and the item I go for is not, they don't have it. So I think, well, that was easy. And I'm not upset through any of this. I'm not upset. But the whole time I'm thinking, how do I know? And I think, well, it's peace, but I was at peace either way. It have it or you don't have it. The only thing it cost me was just a little time and barely any gas. But I still find that okay, I've set in partnership this intention for the day, and then something comes up. And he clearly says, don't drive yourself crazy with every little decision. But I'm like, what's little? What's big? What's, So, so that is like something that I'll grow into, but I just wanted to share that, so any ideas, feedback, or, or just comments at people who have experienced the same thing?
Well, I just want to say that I'm very impressed by your non-attachment. That really, to me, shows a lot of spiritual growth, that you weren't attached to your results either way. Like, if you would have been really disappointed if they wouldn't have had the item, I think that's neat. And I think it's neat that you remember to ask for help. And I think everything was perfect. So thank you for sharing that. That's very, very inspiring, because I think all of us get that way at times. Like, hello, is anybody listening to me up there or around here? And you said it perfectly too, as far as follow the peace. I always, that's, if when I'm making a decision, if I don't have peace, that's a big indicator to me that I'm probably heading in the wrong direction. Well, probably. So that's awesome. Oops.
Yeah, I think that was an awesome opportunity, Mitzi, just because, first of all, you got to go there and you got to remember to ask. And so that in itself is something to congratulate yourself for. And like Leslie said, you were at peace no matter what. You weren't like berating yourself because, oh, I made this trip and it was so unnecessary. I wasted time. I wasted gas. You didn't do any of that. You were just like, this is all cool. I'm just going here, and if they have what I'm looking for, that's fine. If they don't have what I'm looking for, that's fine too. And so I feel like, what you got to take away from that was, first of all, you remembered to ask, and second of all, you were at peace through the whole thing, no matter what the outcome was. So I feel like that is a win.
And the other thing I just want to say too is, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, Missy, just who knows, because you said you pulled over, right, to wait for Holy Spirit. You just never know. Maybe you would have gotten killed if you hadn't pulled over. You know, who knows what, maybe that 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or however long you took to pause, that could have affected things. We just don't know what's happening in the invisible always. So I totally agree with Linda. Talk about a win-win and a great share. So.
Thank you. Can I go again? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So many years ago, I was trying to practice this similar thing of asking before I did anything. I remember a particular day that I got in my car and I started to back out, and I went, oh my God, I forgot to pray about this. I was going to buy shoes or something like that. I think I remember that. And I thought, I didn't ask. I didn't pray about this. And I was in a panic. And I left the church that moment. I didn't go back for years. I said, this is insanity. This is crazy that I should, be so fearful and caught up. And I didn't think about that again until just like in these last few moments, that the difference is that my willingness, I pulled over because I really wanted, I wasn't afraid of making a bad decision. I just wanted to make maybe the highest and best, which wasn't for me, it was for this other person, but in a way for me too. I mean, I'm spending money or not, whatever. But the feeling that I had was not, oh my God, I should ask for this right up front, or I better do this. I didn't have any of that. I just thought, oh, I can partner up here, get some help, I don't have to do it all myself. And it's not because I shouldn't be doing it all myself. It was because we're one and we help each other. That's why, so it was just so different. It was so different. It was just another confirmation for me that that this is the right life. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Mitzi. Yeah, it's not like we have to. There's no fear involved, like fire and brimstone, if we don't ask in every single moment, but we get to. And that's like, oh, we get to do this. We get to have Holy Spirit with us in every moment. We get to ask him, for every little thing. And if he doesn't answer, that's fine too. We're okay with that. We know that the answers will be given when we need them, and we just get to partner up. We get to be together. Yeah, it's a different feeling. It's a really different feeling. It's more relaxed. It's kinder and more compassionate. Yeah. Anybody else have anything to share? Robin. There you are, I think. Oh, I can't unmute you.
Hello.
Hi, now I can hear you.
Hi, everyone. And Penelope, I miss seeing you, as we all do. And as you were speaking and sharing, the thought that came to me was about what is the nurturing and loving choice and the deep desire of your heart. So I'll just leave you with that and wrap in my arms around you and across the ocean. So, and take care and feel better soon. And then I wanted to say hi, Mitzi, because Mitzi and I were in a retreat together and we're roommates. We were strangers and we had so much fun together. It was really wonderful. And so it's nice to see you. Welcome, Mitzi. And then I'm also wanting to say hello to Christine. Christine and I joined the parenting group. And on Saturday, we all got knocked off, and I tried to get back on. And I was in the middle of sharing with Christine and the group when we got knocked off. And I just wasn't able to get back on, and I had family coming over. I was like, should I do this class? I want to be there, but I've got stuff to do. And I was in the middle of actually sharing with you and felt guilty and have had to work on that. So Christine, it's nice to see you and welcome too. And I guess what I want to share is that as we talk about how loving and kind and compassionate, it even says, if you don't like this, try this on that page, you know. And it's just, the Course in Miracles is always coming to us so lovingly and so gently, right where we are. I mean, there's been times that I've been reading something and I'm like, this is the end. I'm getting out. I can't do this. And then the next sentence it says, it's okay. I'm like, oh God. So I so appreciate the gentleness and the embrace of just being held and loved all the time. And my share probably has something to do with this read, because everything does, but I feel like I'm taking us off because I need to share. And I don't remember. I've been doing camp this summer, and I'm retired and usually have a different schedule, and it was so amazing and wonderful, but it takes you on a different trajectory. And I've been not being able to go to classes and all sorts of things that have been disconnecting. But and in the middle of working at summer camp with preschoolers, where I find that I'm really in the zone, and it's so lovely, and working with new teachers and just amazing people, and having these exquisite experiences with children and the people I was working with, and having to work with that not good enough feeling at times, and then noticing where I shine, you know? And being so appreciative of that. So there's that, and so in all of that is my story and how I have not been able to share it all year. And maybe a little over a month ago, I was ready to share. And of course I share with my prayer partners, and there's a circle or two that know me. And, but I haven't been able to really bring that forth. And so a month ago, I think I started with this group because it was new, and I'm like, well, they don't know my story. And it was just so wonderful to share it with this small group that, you know, I've just grown to love. And not that I don't love other groups, but some of them are larger. You know, it gets intimidating. But so I was able to accept where I was with my embarrassment, that I'm still holding on to something that I'd like to be resolved, and being able to share with you all. And that began a new beginning. And it's just, I've been able to share, and the synchronicity of the different ones, different classes, different prayer partners, and the synchronicity has, I was stuck, and that was something that came forth, and I've been stuck, and I go in and out of stuckness. I'm bringing this forth today, Linda, because I don't know how to put this. I don't want to point out people because there's been so many, but there have been significant openings to help me have a breakthrough. Have I shared this? And I've been listening to this class over and over, and my Ascension Pathway class. There's so much, and it's sort of like I want to put it in chronological order. I know it doesn't matter, but somehow it does. You said something on July 4th at a community call that I got brave enough to share. And it was so exquisite and beautiful, and that whole class was. And a month later, I was in a small group, and someone shared the same idea, but in different way, and it came together. And it's nothing new. It's the foundation of what we do. But in my story, I had decided that my story was so special that it was impossible and that it would never be healed. And I could not go past that. And in my awakening, I remembered that it's not really about our challenges. And this sounds hard because when our challenges are there and it's devastating. So I just, please forgive me, anyone, if this sounds like, well, yeah. But for me, I've known this, and I've seen it work in other instances where I've been like wanting to resolve something. But in this story of mine, I had made it so special, and that it was impossible, and it would never be resolved, and that I was going to have to live like this, and it can't be healed. And so what I've gotten and what has come back to me is that it's not the physical form that's appearing. That is not where the focus should go. And I'm telling you all, everybody knows this. It's connecting to our higher power. That's what matters. And with this particular, and I know this, and I was doing it all along, but I couldn't put it together with my story. And it has just really opened up that unstuck place where I am now carrying all the concern, all just everything that is in that story, in the past, in the future, in the now. And it just was like, well, it was a little troubling and embarrassing to see that I know that already, But I guess what helped me was that I had separated this item as being the worst of the worst, and I couldn't partner up, and I've gotten back on track. I mean, after several years of holding this, it's really huge, and I wish that I know that my sharing it right now feels really empty as I'm speaking, but I will tell you, I'm crying a sacred cry. I am so grateful for the community. And I just remember a month earlier, you had shared in different words that I got from another partner. And I went back to your beautiful words, Linda. And anyway, I'm not out of the woods, but I'm just like, I'm giving this over. It's like the hot water heater. I don't know if you all know the hot water heater. We might have to hear that story again because it's just great. Yeah. All right, so I had to share that today no matter what. So thank you guys. And, you know, the unstuck, I did the letter, guys, about being unstuck. Pages and pages of things that came up. I can't even go through all of that, but just all these little synchronicities coming together to free me up. Thank you. And you're muted, Linda, but thank you guys so much. And I think it was because, I'll finish here, I was so afraid of bringing the story up again, and I didn't. And a month ago, I brought it up again, and things started moving. And I really got this opening. And Christine, I feel like I thought I got cut off because I wasn't supposed to share that with you. And I don't know if it's helpful or not, but just getting back into focusing on the light and staying connected to the love and the light and looking beyond the circumstances. It's not easily done. And there's still a little fear there, but oh my gosh, immense healing. Anyway, thank you.
So thank you for that share, Robin. And I was really disappointed when we got bumped on Saturday because I really wanted to hear what you had to say. So, and I can just comment on, yeah, the synchronicities, right? I'm never on any of these live calls. I really am not. And I've been on, I did the Finding Freedom, but I didn't do any of the work because I was so caught up in what's been kind of, what's kind of come in since I signed up for the Finding Freedom. For those of you on the call, just real quick, because I know we're going to be out of time, but my daughter has anorexia. She's relapsed into anorexia. She had it when she was 13, 14. She's now 21 and she's back in it and she's quite sick. So I've been pretty off the rails. Like I was doing great between sort of January and the time she came home, which was in June. And then I kind of hit a bit of a standstill. And just really sort of, yeah, not really just here, but not really making any decisions, not really doing anything, feeling quite peaceful, but just not sure what to do. And but I participated in our posse every week. That was, even though that was really like, I've gotten over this a while ago, but I do find it fascinating that, you know, in the past, like long time ago, maybe not that long ago, I would have been so embarrassed to get onto a posse call knowing that I've done zero work. Everybody's getting on and doing their work, or maybe not everybody, but most people, because you're doing your work because you signed up for Finding Freedom. And I showed up to our posse every Thursday and I'm like, I haven't done anything, but I'm here. And it was, we were all helping each other. I mean, just, not just me, by everybody showing up, but it still helped me. And, you know, and you're right, Robin, I mean, this community is amazing. And so last Thursday I was on our posse and we had a real heart to heart, and not that we weren't praying before, but there was something in that call. And then Saturday, by fluke, I was on my phone. I'm never on the email component, and I saw the parenting class, and I jumped onto that. And then I saw the next email that came for the afternoon community call, and I jumped onto that. And then I jumped onto Sunday's breakout. And here I am again today. Like, this doesn't normally happen. You have to understand, I don't do these. Not because I don't want to, it's just I don't typically do them. And I happen to have this window, and they're coming, and it's making all the difference. The synchronicities, the conversations, the connections, the people who I'm connecting with, like in those breakout calls or whatever, like, you know, and the other person thinking they're telling me this horrific story, and, you know, I'm sorry you have to listen to me, and I'm sitting there going, you have the same story as me, you know, and it's unbelievable how that happens. It's just the most amazing thing. So, but I'm coming back around, and I'm feeling more confident, and I'm getting the guidance that I felt like I wasn't getting, but I think nothing's random, right? Everything was exactly the way it was supposed to be, but I was feeling very lost in the situation. And it's getting clearer and clearer. I'm feeling much more confident, just as an FYI, and trying to make some decisions, and had a conversation with her yesterday, did not go well, regarding her going back to school. She's in university, and whether she should go back or get treatment. We get her into treatment program now, and we're looking at that. I don't know what the answers are going to be, but I'm feeling very confident, very clear, very guided now. So I was in a haze. I really was. That's how I felt. To me, I was in quite a fog and a standstill, but I'm gaining ground. I'm feeling good. My feet are on the ground. She freaked out yesterday, and I didn't. I remained very calm. And I don't know. I'm just feeling really good. So, I mean, I'm just so grateful. I am so grateful for this community. And even though I'm not always on live, I do listen to the podcast. I know a lot of people that don't know me because I'm listening, right? So, but I guess this is my time, because the participation factor is next level. I really feel that is when we can participate like this live. I'm really recognizing it's a big difference than just, I mean, if you can only listen to it, you can only listen to it. But for me right now, this is amazing. So I appreciate everybody being here today, and I thank you, Robin, for that, because it's totally poignant and perfect, and I really get it. Like, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, even when it's tough decisions like this and tough spots that feel tough. I know there's no order of difficulty, but when you've got a sick child, it feels like it's that it has a, you know, a different, but it feels, you think it does, but I recognize it doesn't, but still sometimes you get stuck on that, right? So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it is a miracle for both you and Mitzi. I mean, I was particularly upset with myself for not making sure that I got back on. And I had just left you with the part that I was trying to share. And here you are. And when I saw you, I was like, well, I'm going to leave because I'm so embarrassed. And this is just, for me, it's like a blessing. It's just it's God doing God's work. So this is a God moment. Yeah.
And I just wanted to thank you, Christine, for sharing, because I'll definitely, what's your daughter's name?
Samantha.
Samantha?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll definitely keep you both in my prayers. And somebody who has recovered from an eating disorder, I know that it's not easy, but it can be done. And my mom was supporting me all the way, and I just can't even really talk about it. I mean, it's just, it was amazing, and I'm so grateful that that's in my past now. And I feel for Samantha. It's not easy, but with God's help, she, like you said, there are no order of miracles. And I'm sure it feels insurmountable right now. And yet I look back at that part of my life and it feels like, who was that person? It's like, I don't even know that person anymore. I mean, it was just unbelievable. So my heart goes out to you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm grateful that all of you can be here, but particularly you, Christine and Mitzi, since you're kind of newer to this group, that just you're here so that we can just love you up. Same with Penelope, you know, even though we can't see her, it's like we can just love her up anyways, all snotty faced and all. So yeah, that's the blessing of getting to join together. I'm grateful we can do it. And I get that. Oh my gosh. I know, logically, I know there's no order of difficulty in miracles. And I completely feel that too. Some things just feel stickier than others. They have more barbs to me. So I'm learning to be Teflon. I have a non-stick surface. Oh man. Yeah. So
Well, I gotta go back to work, you guys. So I love you all, and I'll see you next week.
Love you, Leslie.
Bye.
Continue prayers for you and Scott, honey.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we are getting toward the end. So does anybody have anything else that they would like to share before we go?
I just want to say that I recognized your voice, Robin, and I was so happy that you said something, because I was going to reach out and say, oh, are you my old roommate for Forgive and Be Free? So thank you for saying something. I love you, Robin. Thank you, Linda, for bringing us together.
Yay. So I'm thinking for next week, I would like to begin chapter 7 because it is the gifts of the kingdom. And I don't think we've read that one yet because I don't have it all marked up. So the last step and the law of the kingdom. It's just 4 pages. I don't want to go any further than that though, because I like when we can get real deep in with the material. So that's where we're going to head for next week. And I'm going to read my Pathways of Light insights for the lesson this week, for my lesson today. Here we are. So I'm on lesson number 232. Be in my mind, my Father, through the day. This lesson is reminding me that being with God is being in a state of mind where there is a knowing of comfort and safety. As I let this feeling wash over me, I realize how important this is to accept and know. I also realize there are aspects in my mind that really need this healing comfort. I grew up in a church which taught that God is love. I remember seeing the words God is love in big gold raised letters across the front of the church. Yet I am also aware I carried an image of God as ready to judge and punish. I believed he kept a list and checked it twice for those who were naughty and nice. I wasn't sure I wanted God knowing everything I did. It's like the feeling of driving by a police car and wondering if I was going to be stopped for something I did wrong and didn't even know I was doing. It's a reflection of underlying guilt that was carried and seemed to be just waiting to be discovered and punished. Gratefully, this lesson is presenting a different perspective of God. This is a perspective of love that is ever present and unchanging. It is a place of safety and comfort, a place of refuge and healing, and most of all, a place of peace. There is not even a hint of condemnation in God. His only thought for me is love. As I allow this thought to flow through my mind, it brings a wonderful sense of calm and quiet joy. Deep gratitude inspires me to share this love with all my brothers. Love is all I want to offer and all I want to see. If there is a call for love, the only response in my heart is to offer love. In this world where form is perceived as real, love seems to take many forms. As I let myself be guided by the Holy Spirit in my mind, I will always offer love in the most appropriate form in the moment. It is not for me to decide on my own, but merely to allow myself to be led. Thus, I will extend the love I feel from my Father to all my brothers and know it for myself. What particularly stood out to me in this lesson today is trusting all things to Him. Let Him reveal all things to you. If ever I am dismayed by anything, there is only one thing to do, and that is to remember to hand it over and let my mind be healed of every form of fear. It is only then I will be aware of my safety in every situation. At any moment, who do I think I am? The more I believe in the stories of this world, the more I will experience fear. I will not feel safe. The more I place my trust in God and remember I am His son, the more I will remember I am safe in every circumstance. Be in my mind, my Father, through the day, is a thought of accepting safety where safety truly lies. Forgetting my source and dreaming a dream of being disconnected from my source is scary indeed. It is a nightmare that can be undone as I return to letting in the truth that nothing has changed since I was created. I am still in God and of God. Everyone in this world is part of the same Son. There is only one Son, and that Son has never changed. That Son is safe in God. That is what I remember when I return to placing my trust in God and letting Him reveal things to me. With this, peace returns. In truth, God is in my mind and everyone's mind all through the day. We can't really remove ourselves from God because God is what we are. As we are willing to be open to God, open to our source, we return to remembering we are safe in God eternally. This and only this is truth. My practice today is to remember this and be aware of God's presence and God's peace all through the day. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, everybody that's listening later. I love you all. See you next week. Bye.